That's probably the biggest one. What do you think is bigger, Devin Haney 2 or Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia 2?
Tank.
Do you think Tank?
Easy. Because everybody wants to know what would happen if.
If, right.
My strength and conditioning coach, he said that he believes that I can make 140 comfortably. You know, I trust, the people, my team around me. If their opportunity presents itself, I would love to fight Shakur Stevenson, or we could bring Gervonta back,
Hopefully I fight Ryan again. If they're not on some host, I text that again. Tell them boys to give me 150 M's. I'm coming. You know what I mean? When I start screaming out that, niggas start talking that, stop it, knock it off, cuz. Stop it.
When it comes to the biggest potential fights in boxing today, one question continues to dominate the conversation. Which rematch would be bigger? Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia 2, or Gervonta Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia 2? For many boxing fans, the answer is obvious because a second fight between Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis would instantly become one of the biggest events in the sport, especially after the enormous attention generated by their first meeting. Ryan Garcia has made it clear that he has not forgotten his defeat against Tank, but he also insists that one loss will never define his career. In fact, Garcia believes that losing to Davis became one of the biggest turning points of his professional.
Well, here's the thing. In the landscape of boxing at that time, nobody was fighting each other. We were in a very bad time in boxing. Everybody was scared of each other. Everybody was ducking each other. Everybody was trying to protect the O. I went and took all the clauses that Gervonta Davis put on me, and I'm the one that made that fight happen. Yes, the result didn't go my way, but if you really want boxing to propel, you can't be worried about that. All you can do is dust yourself off, get back, and prove yourself again. If I have an opportunity to do a rematch with him, guess what? We're gonna do it on my terms and even terms, and then guess what? Let's see what's gonna happen then. I'm a world champion now.
Life, because the defeat awakened his competitive fire and motivated him to become a more complete fighter. Ryan has repeatedly argued that modern boxing has become too focused on protecting undefeated records, with many fighters avoiding dangerous opponents because they are afraid of losing. In his opinion, boxing can only grow when its biggest stars are willing to take risks, accept challenges, and put everything on the line. And he believes that is exactly what he did when he agreed to
Tank fight again. I would love to. I think he needs to clean some of his act up and get back in the sport. We all want to see him back, including myself, so I can run it back with him. But I don't think we're going to fight for a long time. He won't go up to 147 either. A lot of these guys, they want me to take the risk and go lower all the time, but they won't do it. Sounds a little to me, especially in the fact that I can't always be willing to take the extra step to make the fight happen. I've done that year in out, and now that I'm world champion, you're gonna have to come to me now, and if you don't want to, I don't really need you anyway, so what does it matter? The thing about Tank, before, he
faced Gervonta Davis the first time, Garcia has claimed that he accepted the difficult conditions surrounding their original matchup because he wanted the fight to happen, and although the result did not go his way, he says he has no regrets about stepping into the ring. Now, however, Ryan believes the situation is different, and if a second fight with Tank eventually happens, he wants it to happen under more balance.
I'm going to knock out Gervonta Davis, I promise you. Hear my words, this is my moment, this is my time. He will not beat me. There's nothing terrifying about this guy. I'm going to beat him so easy, he's going to be like, ooh, sprinkle, boom.
Conditions. Garcia's confidence has not disappeared. Instead, he appears even more determined, repeatedly insisting that he is capable of defeating Davis and predicting that he would stop Tank in a rematch. Ryan has spoken with tremendous confidence, saying that this is his moment and that Tank would not be able to beat him again. That naturally raises the biggest question of all. What would actually happen if Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis fought for a second time? The first fight demonstrated the danger of...
I lost. No matter what happened, I lost, and that, I don't like losing, so it woke up that competitor in me, and it drove me to this where I'm at now. That's where it started, and it's tough, but again, I feel I'm the better fighter. I don't care what anybody says. I know I'm the better fighter, and if I get my rematch, I'm gonna beat him. And regardless of the outcome of the first fight, I know I could come back and I could beat him.
Davis's counterpunching, timing, accuracy, patience, and explosive power, as Tank has always been known as a fighter who does not need many opportunities to completely change the direction of a contest. One perfectly timed punch can instantly alter the entire fight. But Ryan's supporters believe that a rematch could look completely different because Garcia would have the experience of the first encounter behind him. Ryan himself believes that he is a better fighter than the version who entered the ring against Tank the first time. And he has suggested that
here's my take on Davis. I don't remember the last time that I've heard Gervonta Davis say, "I'm in boxing to be the greatest fighter of all time." I can't remember. I've heard him say that he's better than certain guys in his weight class, or this kid can't beat me. I've heard that. I can't remember, and maybe y'all can keep me honest online. The last time I've heard Gervonta Davis talk about his legacy in the ring. Like I'm building my legacy. I'm trying to outdo Floyd in legacy.
The lessons learned from that defeat helped him develop mentally and professionally. In his mind, the first fight was not the final chapter, but a painful lesson that could ultimately make him more dangerous in a second meeting. At the same time, Garcia has suggested that Tank may need to take another major fight before they meet again because he believes fighters should prove themselves against strong opposition and continue testing themselves against elite competition. Ryan says he is focused on building his own career, becoming a better fighter, and competing against whoever is willing to step into the ring, but the idea of running back the Davis fight remains firmly in his mind. However, one major issue that could prevent the rematch from happening anytime soon is weight. Ryan Garcia has spoken about potentially competing at 140 pounds. And
I think it started like that for him. But the influence of Floyd Mayweather, Money Man, not Pretty Boy, but the Money Man, and building your brand and selling tickets and selling pay-per-views and becoming a household name, that's also a legacy. You got the legacy in the ring and you got the legacy in terms of how you sold. I believe Gervonta Davis is more focused on selling tickets and making money and securing his future for himself and his family. He said it out of his own mouth. I ain't got nothing else to prove. Well, depends on what your goal is. It depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to be one of the greatest fighters of all time, it's still a whole lot to prove. My point is, Roy, I don't think should everybody hold this man to the standard that they hold him to and say, you not fighting nobody, yeah, you making money, but you ain't really fought nobody. If he don't even care about that, that's not even something that he's really focused on. If his main focus is the money, and his main focus is getting out of boxing without getting hurt and retiring on his own terms, shouldn't his fan base and other people get on board with that if that's not even his goal? How can we hold him to something like that if he don't even hold himself to that?
He has indicated that his strength and conditioning team believes he could comfortably make the weight. If the right opportunity presents itself, Garcia says he would be interested in facing some of the biggest names in the sport, including Shakur Stevenson, while also leaving the door open for another fight with Gervonta Davis. But Garcia's position is clear. He does not want to be the only fighter making sacrifices to create major fights, and he believes that if other fighters truly want to face him, they should also be willing to take risks and meet him halfway. That brings us to another major name in this discussion, Shakur Stevenson. Shakur has repeatedly presented himself as a fighter who believes he can solve the Gervonta Davis puzzle. Unlike Ryan Garcia, Stevenson...
They definitely should get on board with that. They definitely should because, his mentor did basically the same thing, so why can't he do it? You know what I'm saying? He made more money than anybody. He was smarter than everybody. He didn't take too many stupid risks. That's what he did, and it worked for him. And people are okay with that and accepting it, so why can't Tank do it? Tank can do the same thing the mentor did. That's what the mentor is for, to teach you how to do this thing the smart way and not get you hurt, not have to take no risks, not to take many chances. So if that's what you learn, if that's the easy way out, why not do that? But y'all gave him credit for it, so y'all can't give him credit for it. He can do the same thing that this guy did. Everybody had their own mentors, their own pound for pounds, their own people they want to be like. If he want to be like that guy that y'all say is great and was one of the best ever, why can't he do it? So I'm cool with whatever he say he want to do.
Stevenson is not primarily known for explosive knockout power. Instead, his greatest weapons are his defensive awareness, movement, timing, ring intelligence, accuracy, and ability to control distance. Shocker supporters believe his style could create a completely different challenge for Tank because Davis is extremely dangerous when opponents make mistakes or allow themselves to become trapped in vulnerable positions. While Stevenson is one of the most technically disciplined fighters in the sport, he is difficult to hit.
Better, goddammit, who you got down?
Yeah. First, like skills.
You know them boxers always trying to, you know what I'm saying? You know.
Nah, cause you asking some real shit. It's like,
For sure.
it's hard to say with dude, cause like his only loss was when he got cheated. Like he really got cheated. Like people can say whatever the fuck they want. Niggas seen him get cheated. It's hard to really just go against dude. But like from a skill standpoint, I would say just because of he's trickier. Like he tricky. He gonna catch you with some shit that you don't see. So I'm gonna say that nigga. Like damn, I just said this nigga name. I'm bugging. I'm gonna say dude.
Dude.
Yeah, dude.
Cleanly, understands distance extremely well, and has the ability to make opponents fight at his pace. The question is whether Shocker's technical style would be enough to neutralize Tank's power, and Stevenson himself appears confident that it would. He has suggested that the only real way to settle the debate is to actually make the fight, because boxing fans can argue endlessly about skills, speed, power, defense, and technique, but none of those arguments will truly be resolved until the fighters share the ring. Stevenson has essentially sent the same message to any fighter who believes they have a problem with him. Sign the contract, turn on the lights, and let the world watch.
Like I said, if any fighter have an issue with me, because I feel like Tio was jealous of me.
Mm-hmm.
I told him this several times. Any fighter have any issue with me,
Let's do it.
sign the contract, turn the lights on bright, let millions come around the seats to see what's happening.
Fascinating discussion, because it would be a classic battle between power and precision. Davis would enter the ring with one of the most dangerous offensive arsenals in boxing, while Stevenson would attempt to use movement, defense, and tactical intelligence to control the fight. David Benavidez has also spoken positively about the possibility of a Tank versus Shakur showdown, recognizing that the 135 to 140-pound landscape is filled with elite talent, and that this weight range has become one of.
Off of that victory this weekend, I would love to see Shakur and Gervonta. You know, I think Gervonta and anybody in any of the top guys at that weight class is a great fight. Gervonta, Shakur, Gervonta, Tio, Gervonta, Keyshawn. I mean, that 135 to 140 pound weight class is hot right now. You know what I mean? But that would be a great fight. I think probably that would be one of the fights that would be the most anticipated. You know, if they can make happen, Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson. By no means it would be easy for either fighter. You know, we just seen that Shakur Stevens was able to shut a great fighter like Teofimo down and made him look silly. So that would be a great fight, you know. And a big shout out to Shakur Stevens becoming a 4-time division champion. You know, he's on legendary status. He's on his way to be a Hall of Famer too, and he's still very young.
The most exciting areas in boxing. Benavidez has praised Shocker's accomplishments and technical ability, while also recognizing the enormous attraction that a Davis-Stevenson fight could create. He believes a matchup between these two elite fighters would generate massive interest because both men have developed strong reputations in completely different ways. The fight would also answer a major question that has followed both fighters for years. Can elite technical boxing defeat elite knockout power? On the other side of the debate, there are those who believe that anyone facing Gervonta Davis must respect his power above everything else. Stephen A. Smith has emphasized—
Tank! No! Ladies and gentlemen, you do not do that to Gervonta Tank Davis. If you got the power—
I haven't seen you this hyped in a long time.
Listen, Gervonta Davis is the real deal.
You
got to be in the middle of the ring or in the rope. If you're going to be on the ropes, you want to be in the middle. You don't want to be in one of the corners.
The danger of allowing Tank to push an opponent toward the ropes or corner, because Davis is particularly dangerous when he can trap an opponent and force them into a limited defensive position. Once that happens, a single mistake can end the fight. Tank does not necessarily need 10 perfect punches to win. Sometimes he only needs one. That is what makes him so frightening. Opponents can dominate several rounds and still remain in danger because Davis possesses the kind of power that can instantly change a fight. A fighter can be winning on the scorecards and still lose everything in a matter of seconds.
Shakur don't have no power, but he's a genius in the ring. Y'all say he don't have no power, but he's a genius in the ring.
This is also why Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Davis would be such a fascinating tactical battle. Shakur would likely try to keep the fight in the center of the ring, control distance, and avoid giving Tank the opportunity to land his biggest punches, while Tank would likely look for moments when Shakur becomes predictable, reaches too far, or gets caught during a defensive transition. Another important voice in the conversation has described Shakur as a genuine boxing genius. And while some critics question Stevenson's knockout power, his supporters argue that power is not the...
When Tank is known to just demolish guys. So that's a feather in his cap just to stay in there and hang with Tank.
Coach Calvin Ford revealed that Gervonta Davis simply can't stay away from boxing. He mentioned that Tank loves the crowd and thrives in front of the cameras, which is part of what keeps pulling him back into the sport. Ford also recalled how Davis once told him, "Coach, believe in me," and from that moment, he knew there was something special about the young fighter.
He have to be the business side, you know, what's the next fight, how many times he fighting, this going on, that going on. So I'm looking forward to the journey.
At what point did you realise how special this kid was? Because when he walked in your gym, I watched his career from the start up until now, and you've been there from the get-go. When did you realise? Was it a specific move he did? Was it how he handled himself? When did you realise that he could be, the star he is now?
When he said to me, "Coach, believe in me," he actually told me that, and I actually had a chance to look at it on film when he told me that. And my son used to always talk about it when we used to sit at the dinner table, how great he was. He said, "Dad, man, if he was my age, he probably could beat me." So, it's just in him, and he likes the crowd, he likes the cameras, that's what he did.
Calvin Ford clarified that Gervonta Davis is not walking away from boxing for good. The time away from the ring is simply a result of not having an active contract, not a lack of desire to fight. He explained that Davis will continue doing business with his team even without a formal agreement, comparing the flexibility to that of fighters like Canelo and Floyd. According to Ford, Tank still loves the sport and will be back once the right business moves fall into place.
So we talked about Tank in the business now. There's talk that he could be leaving Mayweather for Roaches. He said he was to Brian Custer that this is his last fight.
Everybody missing, he's leaving. It's business.
Right, for sure.
If it's good business, we're gonna do what? Business.
For sure.
We're not leaving each other. It's just not on contract.
Okay. So you're still gonna do business with
Mayweather? Got you.
Right.
You have to do business. They brothers.
Right.
They brothers, and you gotta remember they the best in boxing. You got Al and Floyd. Come on.
But it's just good. How excited for you for him to have that flexibility?
It's good because Canelo do it. Ryan Garcia, Garcia did it. It's been done.
Right.
It's been done. You know what I'm saying?
Moving towards Ade Oladipo, he also weighed in. He believed Lomachenko and Gervonta Davis are both returning for the same reason, a massive payday. He said only two names make sense for Lomachenko's comeback, Tank or Shakur Stevenson. With Lomachenko now a free agent, Oladipo thinks a super fight against Stevenson at 140 pounds is a real possibility, even if Loma would be undersized. In his view, the biggest fight for Lomachenko right now may actually be between two fighters, Shakur or Tank.
And he's only coming back for a big fight. Like, someone's obviously said, okay, here is a truckload of money, fight this person. And there's only two people that spring to mind. One is Gervonta Davis. There's been this whisper about Gervonta returning to the ring. Maybe he's now decided finally to fight Lomachenko, and the money on offer's too big to turn down. Because that's the one thing that will grab any fighter back, right? Money. If the number's big enough, they will say, okay, let's do it. Even if they know they physically can't. The other fighter is Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson, we are led to believe, is going to sign to Zuffa Boxing. With Loma's contract at Top Rank now up or will be up in 24 hours, it means he's a free agent. And maybe Zuffa look at that as a potential super fight at 140, maybe. Again, he'll be massively undersized against Shakur, who is, with skill for skill, on par with Loma.
Only way to dominate an opponent. Shakur's ability to read a fight, control positioning, manage distance, and make adjustments can be just as valuable as raw punching power. His supporters believe that his technical intelligence could allow him to neutralize a dangerous puncher like Tank. But then again, Tank has built his reputation by making even experienced fighters uncomfortable. His pressure, patience, timing, and explosive counters create constant danger. And even when he appears to be taking his time, he is often studying his opponent and waiting for the exact moment.